All right. First of all, cheers.
Cheers.
And as you're now an Italian and American citizen, so how do they say in Italian?
100 anni means I hope you live 100 years. Bob got a suitcase of burgers, like they sell them in a suitcase. There's like 50 White Castles. They're little teeny things. So we're there at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so drunk. And then Bob's friend is that he knows from I don't know where.
I've not seen this dude
He's
in
like, Bob?
20 years. And
yeah, we're like, staggering around White Castle.
He was like, yeah, they were on a church group scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
And he was like, we're here for White Castle burger. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Next thing you know, like a Mexican military vehicle pulls up next to us, and just like in the movies, they throw like the canvas thing over it, like they open up the canvas, and next thing there's like 8 machine guns pointing at me in this taxi. I'm just like, what in the fuck happened to me today? They pulled me through the window by my fucking hair like I was like Bo and Luke Duke in the fucking Dukes of Hazzard. I'm just like, what the fuck happened? Kicking me and shit, and next thing you know, they just start beating the taxi driver. I mean, beating him. Like it's human rights violation beating. It's like, and this is in broad daylight. So then after like 40 minutes laying on the pavement, the guy says, get up.
Oh my God.
Get up. You can go. I said, I can go? Like, you can go. I was like, what happened? He says, you're a taxi driver. He's a serial killer.
Welcome to this episode of Bourbon and Proof, where we talk about those that were successful in law and life. And we do it over a series of conversations and, more importantly, bourbon and whiskey. And Mauro, I want to find out today, what is your bourbon and proof?
Okay.
All right, so Mauro Fiore, successful trial lawyer, tried more cases than people could probably even imagine, and did it off of a golf undergrad.
Well, I want
to hear it. Let's go.
I have an AA degree.
In what?
In golf resort management.
Golf resort management. Yes.
Out in Palm Springs.
So meticulous short greens.
Well, the golf cart maintenance was I think I got the AMJR in golf cart maintenance.
Wow, AMJR at highest grade.
Yeah, highest grade in golf cart maintenance.
Wow, phenomenal.
Yeah, so I have a very strong undergraduate background.
Yeah.
Which is why I ended up at an unaccredited night law school at the end of the runway at LAX. So every time a plane flew over, you couldn't hear the professor. But
and that's where you were inspired. So you saw these planes take off and said, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, actually that
that could be in the cargo of that plane.
And when I was in law school there, they only thing they had to offer anyone was like, "Oh, we have one really successful graduate. He's going to come and speak to you and inspire you." So I was like, "Hey, I want to see who actually made it out of this shithole." So who did they bring? Gary Doherty, who graduated from this law school, and whose father, a lot of people don't know, Gary's dad is an artist.
Really?
He painted a portrait of Gary that at one time they had it hanging in the library like Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
They had Gary's photo, painting in the library there at the law school.
Was it a nude?
No, he wasn't in the nude, but if you know Gary, he does like to be in the buff.
Wow, holy shit. This is how we're going to start this episode.
Yes.
So, Mauro, I'm going to pour you the first one out of this
what do you got here?
sheath. Oh my God, somebody drank some of this. Yeah, that was me. So I had to sample it. This is a Kentucky Owl confiscated. I don't know if you have this one, but we're going to start the conversation out with this. See how dark this pour is? It's good. This will make you feel confident in yourself.
Let's see.
Which I've never known you to be confident and tell stories in your...
Yeah,
Look, I'll tell you right now, for all those that are listening, I'm very afraid of this interview.
Why? I mean, we've hung out a lot, we've traveled a lot, we've been friends for a long time, so there's some good stories.
This is why I'm afraid.
There's good stories, probably some we can't tell anymore. There was some that we could tell before, but now everyone's too sensitive. Everybody's too sensitive. Some of my best material I'll have to bury forever.
But your stories are all true, and that's the funniest part. All right, first of all, cheers.
Cheers.
And as you're now an Italian and American citizen, so how do they say in Italian?
100 anni means I hope you live 100 years.
Wow.
That's a cheers in Italian. I'm an Italian citizen through my father, who was
Your dad just passed away?
He just passed away in December, God bless him, but he was born and raised in Sicily.
Oh.
And so I'm an Italian citizen through him, and he was, I always asked him why he came to the United States in 1967, and he always told me, oh, it was just a good time to get out of Italy. But when I went to the Italian consulate to get my Italian passport, they said, is your father still alive? I said, yeah, he's still alive. Like, yeah, he deserted the Italian army. I said, what year did he desert? They said 1967. So then finally, I got the story out of him. And he said that, hey man, they had me serving like in Libya or something in the desert.
He deserted?
And he was like,
so he deserted in the desert?
He deserted the desert and flew to New York and never went back. So
you know what?
He was wanted as a deserter, they told me.
Shit. So my mom is Sicilian, and I don't think I can go to Sicily.
No? Why?
I mean, it's the same story. Like
same thing.
Yeah, man. I don't want to know.
This is really good.
This is good. The confiscated house good.
This is really good. It's
oh, holy shit! That just top.
It's very smooth. I think this can't be the proof can't be that high on this, right?
So this is the funny part, bro. This is 113 proof.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow. Usually when it's high proof like this, it tastes like gasoline. But this is so smooth.
Yeah, I know you like the low proof shit like schnapps. I know you're a good schnapps guy and a good
Jägermeister.
Yeah, you're a good and a gold. What's the one called that you like?
Goldschlager.
Yeah, you like that shit.
That was for girls when we were in college. They loved
you love the Goldschlager. I know that about you. Oh, but smell that.
That's really good. I never had it.
Oh my God, this guy's gonna kill me.
It's amazingly high proof for as smooth as it is.
So Mauro, you have a big firm now. You got a lot of lawyers who work for you, multiple locations, and you went to an unaccredited law school.
Sure.
And a 2-year golf management degree.
Yes, I didn't graduate from college. I just have an AA degree, and then.
So no college.
Well, I mean, I had to take a few courses. I had to take a few courses beyond the golf management to get my AA degree. I had to take like consumer math when I was in college.
What is consumer math?
Like if you have 4 bananas and then you have to pay $1 each, like how much are all 4 bananas? True. And this was in college. So, so that actually got me my math requirement for my AA degree. I took consumer math. And then I took an English course.
So can you multiply anything by a third or 40%?
A third or 40%, I'm usually pretty good at, but depends. These days, I don't know if you've seen some of these retainers that are floating around town.
Oh, God damn.
You might have to calculate 90%. Depends on who you are.
Brutal.
It's getting brutal out there, some of these guys.
So how does a guy from, like Diamond Bar?
Diamond Bar. Beautiful Diamond Bar, California.
Beautiful.
Home of Jim Edmonds, Hall of Fame center fielder.
That guy for the Cardinals ruined the Pirates' lives for many years. Although the Pirates didn't have much life. For me as a fan, they're terrible.
The Pirates have been shitty since Bobby Bonilla left.
He's still getting paid by the Mets, by the way.
Yeah, I think he has a 99
But how's a dude from Diamond Bar go to a fucking non-union college, you go to an unaccredited law school? How do you have the empire that you have today?
I'm a real firm believer in if you just keep showing up every day, good things will happen. You know what I mean?
Oh.
The one thing, I never had much of a plan for anything. Not a planner. But the one thing
Speaking of no planning, I went on your honeymoon with you, which you did not plan, which I planned.
Yes, well, I mean, it was funny because I was getting married and me and my wife, we were tossing around the idea of what to do for a honeymoon, and we never really got around to it. And then maybe like a month before the wedding, Bob said, the day after or 2 days after your wedding, me and my wife are going to go on this 3-week trip to all across Europe and going to England, Iceland, Cyprus, which I was like, how exotic, Cyprus. So I told my wife, I said, do you want to just go on our honeymoon with Bob and Christine? And my wife's like, yeah, sure. So we went on, I went on my honeymoon with you and your wife.
So what's the one lesson you learned about going on vacation with me? One lesson. Don't play credit card roulette, ever.
Oh, God.
You lost every time.
I mean, I used to think, that, I don't mind playing credit card roulette, and because usually I win once in a while. I mean, God. But I think there was one time that I played credit card roulette in Europe with Bob, and these were expensive dinners.
This was the favorite stories. We were in fucking like Iceland in the middle of nowhere, and they just put these bottles like all in plastic bottles. They were the most like ridiculous shit. Like we don't want any of this. They just put it on the table, and they say, "Oh, one shot, $1,000."
Yeah,
That was the dinner we had. We're like,
and it was
what
like,
choice do we have?
It was in some like farmhouse.
Yeah.
And it was. And I think I'd already passed out from being drunk during the day.
Yeah.
I think I passed out twice that day before we got there. And then we played credit card roulette, like literally like 10 dinners in a row I lost.
Yeah.
I was like, this trip is doubling. My budget for the trip is doubling. I could not win.
Look, man, I'm the luckiest motherfucker ever. I've actually been on 2 game shows, won them both. So
I know. I've seen the. Are You Smarter Than a Fifth
So the
Grader?
one that you do not know about, when we were in grade school, I was on Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? The pilot, because I was in Pittsburgh and they did that one that was the same one that was like, what's his name? Fred Rogers, Sesame Street was all in Pittsburgh. So our friend's mom in the neighborhood said, we need these like fucking 11, 12-year-olds to be on this game show. And they took all of us group of kids. So I was on the team with my friend Mikey Burns up the street, and Brad was on, like there was 8 of us, I think. We had to do a physical challenge. It was just brutal, but we won. And then it changed everything after that, and it was a huge success.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never saw that show.
You probably never want to see that show.
Okay, good. Yeah, I never.
You were too busy doing the Oregon Trail. And what else did you play back then?
We played Oregon Trail a lot. I liked that. That was a cool game. And then like, I don't know, Asteroids. We played Asteroids and Galaga and Phoenix.
Phoenix? What the fuck is Phoenix?
You never played Phoenix? It's
No.
like a Galaga game. Kind of.
I know
thing.
Galaga.
It's like Galaga. Phoenix was more fun.
So, Mauro,
Speaking of Phoenix, there's a good Phoenix story that we
no.
have.
I forgot about this story. This is so embarrassing.
For you or me?
For all of us.
What story is that?
Because we met at a fucking hot tub.
Oh yeah, I did meet you in the hot tub.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were like, you saw the tattoo of a phoenix I had. You're like, bro, you have a phoenix tattoo?
Yeah, and I had this Phoenix medallion on of a big phoenix. I can't remember where the hell I bought it.
I don't know.
And I gave it to you. I was so
Yes.
drunk. I said, "Here, you have a Phoenix tattoo. I'm going to give you my Phoenix."
We're like, well,
medal."
you're my best friend. I'm your best friend. You know how, like, my wife shows up at an event and somebody else has the same dress. They're like, I can't be next to that person. We were the same. We're like, we're best friends.
Yeah,
We're going to be together.
like in Step Brothers.
Oh,
So I gave you the Phoenix medallion, and then the best part of that is how
oh God.
the next morning, I mean, imagine I stayed out all night partying in Vegas, which, you know, you'd never know that I would do that. And I was single at the time, so I was really raging. And then I was walking back to my room at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I saw a Phoenix slot machine. And I said, well, I got to play this Phoenix slot machine. You know, I like Phoenix. You know, I just gave away my Phoenix medal. I put $100 in the machine. I hit the button a couple of times. And then, like, it says jackpot, call attendant, and the light went off. And right at that point, Gary, Dordick, and Nava were leaving town at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sitting there, looked like I just, like, slept in the gutter.
You did?
And I did. And they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, I just won this slot machine. Like, how much did you win? I said, I don't know. And then the guy came over and he's like, oh man, that's a good one.
See?
I was like,
Listen to that. That's just sirens for you, bro.
so the guy came over and said, that's a good one. I said, how much did I win? He said, 25 grand. I was like, in cash? He's like, yeah, they gave me the money in a bag. I took it in a
Did you have to,
in a
were you
brown bag.
taxed on that shit?
Well, I had to sign some tax documents, but they didn't know that I gave him my brother's identity.
All right. I want to see what you're drinking because this is going to get really bad really quick.
Okay, let's see.
Oh my God. This
I'm
is
gonna
the
open
episode
this.
that kills me.
I'm going to open this one. This is Old Tub, which,
Is this a Miami Vice joke?
no, this Old Tub is,
God damn.
it's not a real expensive whiskey at all, but it's hard to get. It's a hard bourbon to get. The story on Old Tub is, before Jim Beam became Jim Beam, they had a distillery that the Beam family ran, and they, the only whiskey they sold was called Old Tub, because this was before they even put it in bottles.
God.
People would come to the distillery, and they'd have the bourbon in a tub, and you'd fill up your own bottle, right? So then Jim Beam became what is now, I think, the largest selling bourbon in the world, but they never sold the Old Tub recipe anywhere but the distillery you could still buy it. They still make it the same way. It's unfiltered.
Oh God.
An unfiltered old school bourbon. They only sold it at the distillery up until 2020. In 2020, they finally put it out under the Old Tub name with the Old Tub recipe, exactly like it was in 1880s.
1880s?
Unfiltered, like in the 1880s. So this is and it's only like 30, 40 bucks. It's not expensive, but it's a real
this might
throwback.
kill me. This might kill
It's
me.
a real throwback, a real original style Kentucky bourbon.
That's good, bro.
Did I go a little heavy on the pour there?
Look at this. This
Okay.
is like a fucking 2-shot pour.
Okay.
This will kill me.
Give me some of it.
Just cheers. So the one thing, I will never not drink what is poured.
Okay, so here we go. The Old Tub, unfiltered.
God.
1880s.
Tubbs! What was Tubbs' partner name? What was Don Johnson's name?
Rico, or it's like it's some
Fucking
stupid
know.
name like that.
We're not wearing loud shirts or jackets, so I don't
It was Tubbs and I remember his name, but I love Miami Vice, and I love that
This smells good.
that Ferrari Daytona they drove.
You drove a Ferrari here today. I saw
And
it.
I don't know what. Do we have to get into that? Look, I'm not one of those. I mean, I do like.
No,
nice
so
cars.
here's the thing
I
about
do like
you're
nice
one of the
cars.
most down-to-earth dudes ever in life.
Yeah, it's like
we could, you and I, we will be out. Nobody will ever know, whatever. But you drove a Ferrari here today.
I don't know why I drove. When I got here, I was thinking, what did I drive when I'm going to go drink? I should have Ubered here. I don't know why I drove, but
God damn.
yeah, I drove my Ferrari here, and mostly because I never drive it, and I've been having trouble that when I try to drive it,
This
the
is
battery's
terrible.
dead. The battery's dead.
This is terrible.
No, it's not. It's so good.
I'm kidding. Tell me,
What?
what is the Big Five? I can't even say it without laughing. It's not a sports store. The Big Five has a real meaning to you in your life. What is the Big Five?
Well, I went to South Africa.
Why did you go to South Africa?
I went to the World Cup in 2010
Who did you go with?
by myself because, again,
Mauro,
at the time,
look, okay, time out. I'm pouring mine after
Okay.
this because we might die after this interview. And I will die a good death. Like, you know, like with the Vikings, put you out on sea and they do this. And you catch on fire. I want that death. So if we die a Vikings death today, I lived a good life.
Good. Me too. Okay, so my next one here, even though I've been to Kentucky with Bob, we've been on the Bourbon Trail. We've been to Old Fitzgerald and Pappy Van Winkle and Michter's.
yeah?
We've been to all the distilleries, Angel's Envy. We did all that. But so I'm real partial to Kentucky bourbons.
Yes.
But this is a California bourbon, Sonoma. Up in Sonoma County. And this is a wheat bourbon, which for a lot of people who don't know a lot about bourbon, wheat bourbons are not the norm, you know?
Yeah.
But
They're so good.
just randomly, the most expensive bourbon in the world is Pappy Van Winkle, is a wheat bourbon.
Wheat bourbon.
You know?
And there's a lot of wheats that trickle down from there. If people follow this all the way down from Pappy, which is it's all marketing.
Pappy and then you can drink Weller,
Weller Full Proof is one of the best.
150 bucks.
Yeah,
And it's
yes.
almost exactly the same as a
The best.
$4,000 bottle
Yeah.
of Pappy, made from the same mash, distilled in the same distillery. All they do is say, well, these are Pappy Pappy barrels, and this is a Weller barrel. It's horseshit. People fall for it.
Yep.
I remember one time on New Year's Eve, me and you were drunk, and we were at some place. We're always drunk someplace.
This
but-
never happens.
Yeah. So, but that one thing, New Year's Eve. Like, I think I've been with you on New Year's Eve, like 9 out of the last
Yes.
10 years at least. So we were at New Year's Eve someplace, and they had Pappy Van Winkle. I said, Bob, let's drink Pappy.
Oh
It's
God,
New
it
Year's
was not that.
Eve." And we were
fantastic.
like, this is shit. It's $4,000 a bottle. I'd rather drink the Michter's is
Yes.
$40. But
Oh, we'll get to that,
So
but
this
it
is
will-
a Sonoma is a wheat.
we ended up.
bourbon.
Remember one year we ended up in a vodka vault.
Yeah, no,
we
it was
we
an
were in
ice
Russian
box.
caps, dude. It was bad.
Yeah, because my friend that was a place called Nick's in Beverly Hills.
God.
It was a vodka bar, a Russian. It was where the Russian girls would go look for fat cat American guys to steal their money. So it was like a Russian bar in Beverly Hills, and
Can't even.
they had a ice box bar. So
Yeah.
you had to reserve it, and especially on New Year's Eve, it was a big deal. Luckily, one of my loser actor friends was the manager of the place. So he put us in the icebox on New Year's Eve, and he gave us fur hats and fur coats. I have the picture someplace.
I still have the
of
picture
us wearing fur hats and drinking.
I never forget. Like
vodka.
we're doing these shots. Like this, we were drinking all night. We're like,
We're drinking
vodka shots.
beluga, like caviar
Bro.
vodka. It was good. I'm not a vodka really guy.
No,
but
we
it was
were
good.
like we were fine. 2 hours after that, out of my mind.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was I think we were. Your brother was with us that year.
Yes, he was.
Brandon, before he was even
his
married.
brother. And he's a huge fan of this. Huge
So
fan.
Sonoma's good. It's California whiskey. California whiskey. It's wheat, so it's a little sweeter. Has a little bit more corn in it, and the wheat. And then what they do with this one is they age it like in the regular oak barrels, just like bourbon has. There's a very specific rules to bourbon. It has to be aged in oak barrels, brand new oak barrels. It can't be used barrels, or you can't call it bourbon, right? It's called bottled in bond. There's a whole list of
Bottle
rules.
bond is good.
Yeah, bottled in bond's good. There's a whole list of rules. If you don't follow those rules, you can't call it bourbon. So this one, after they put it in the oak barrels, and then they finish it in cognac barrels from France. So it gives it just a little bit more of a sweeter, a better nose, and it's pretty incredible.
We actually partner with them for Mardi Gras. So we're giving away 200 bottles
Of Sonoma?
of Sonoma.
Wow, I love Sonoma. But you know what? The rye is not as good. The wheat, you gotta drink the wheat.
Agree.
The
So
wheat.
they had the,
Cent'anni.
yeah. What is that?
Cent'anni means 100 years at a time.
Reza, I think that was not.
Listen, don't talk about Reza. Do we have to get into Reza too?
Well, you met your wife pretending to be Reza, so that was a funny story.
That's a true story, 100%.
I mean, so this is the best part is you have a huge firm, try a lot of cases. And we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, tons of fun.
Tons of fun.
I met my wife at the W Hotel. They used to have a club up on the roof in Hollywood called Dre's. At the one time, it was
Not the Dre's in Vegas.
same owner.
Really?
Victor Dre is the guy's name. He opened one in LA. I was up there for my buddy's birthday. I met my wife there, and I liked her. And at that time, I was going through this phase that, my dad's born and raised in Italy, Sicilian. My mother was born in Chicago. My mom, God bless her soul, she'd roll over in her grave if you didn't say she was American. But my mom was born in Chicago, Illinois. My grandfather worked in a steel mill in East Chicago, Indiana for 40 years.
Man after my own heart.
So my mom was an American, but her parents were from Mexico. So my mom's family's Mexican, but my mom always claims she's American. So I have an ambiguous
So
look,
if your dad
so
was
people think I'm
Italian,
Mexican, people think I'm Italian.
if your dad's Italian,
yeah,
your mom is
Mexican American.
Are you a Mexican cannoli?
Yeah, maybe. A Mexican.
I mean, what is your soup du jour?
Yeah, well, I like cannolis, so definitely.
You don't like cannoli. No, I mean cannolis are fine, but nobody's dessert of choice.
I don't like cannolis. I love cannolis.
You don't love cannolis. Nobody loves cannolis.
Who doesn't love a cannoli?
It's fine. It's like
the ones with the chocolate chips in them and stuff. I mean, come on.
Because you like to you hold it and
that's Sicilian
it's juicy.
Bite, There's two things Sicilian. There's a cannoli. That's juicy. There's a cannoli and there's some called arancinis, which are rice balls that are Sicilian.
The rice balls are good.
That's Sicilian. That's not Italian. That's Sicilian. Cannolis are Sicilian. Rice balls Sicilian. So I met my wife at the Dre's, and Bob knows this story. Always brings it up. He calls me Reza. At the time, I was going by a name Reza Ajiji. I was claiming to be Persian because all my friends were Persian, and I just pretended I was Persian, and my name was Reza Ajiji. But I didn't think it would matter because I didn't think I'd ever really see her again.
Oh my God!
So when I started going out with her, I couldn't tell her my name is Mauro Fiore. My mom's half Mexican, and my dad's Italian. So I had to go with it that I was Persian for a while. So. After a month of dating her, I had to finally tell her, listen, my name's not Reza.
It's Mauro Fiore.
It's Mauro Fiore.
I'm like the most Italian.
And I'm not Persian. And it was funny because I had two Persian identities.
God.
If I hung out in LA with the Jewish Persians, I was Reza Ajiji. And if I was in Orange County with the Muslim Persians, I was, the other way. I was Reza Ajiji with the Orange County Persians. And if I was with the Jewish Persians in LA, I was Moshe Cohn.
No, yes. Moshe Cohn.
So I had two identities.
I gotta pour another one because this is just the most outrageous shit ever. You have gotten in trouble for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. With
who hasn't?
No, I haven't.
You don't put yourself in the
I don't put
positions
myself in
I
a
do.
position. So have you ever been? God, this is. I can't even. I'm gonna laugh so hard. Being in the wrong place with the wrong.
I don't know where you're going with this, but tell me.
Have you ever been to like Glendale and been in the wrong? Went out to lunch with somebody that was just.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
All right, I want to pour one because
Yeah, I
we have
mean,
to finish this whiskey, and I want to get you
This is a
drunk.
crazy story, man. This one's cuckoo, man. But you know, don't ever hang. don't
This
hang
is a
out.
Whistle Pig Old World. I'm a big Whistle Pig guy.
I had never had this. Keith Bremer
Really?
sent me a bottle of this.
Keith Bremer's a good dude.
God bless Keith Bremer. He sent a bottle of this to me for Christmas, and it's really good.
Okay, that's it. Oh, God damn. Good Lord. Tell me the story of when you were in Glendale.
Well, I mean, I've been practicing a long time, since the 90s, since before. I didn't have internet access.
So when did you start
shit like
practicing
that.
law? Just so everybody knows.
1998.
How old were you? How old were you? How old were you?
In 1998, I was 24.
Young.
I just turned 24 when I got my
Young.
license. So I started practicing in 1998, which the practice was wildly different at that time. Back in the old days, before the internet and the Persian mafia and everything else in the PI business, there's this Armenian guy I know that ran like a body shop.
Was his name Art?
No, I think his name was Rafi, if you can believe it. Rafi.
Yeah, Rafi, sure.
Yeah, Rafi from Glendale. Ran a body shop. He invites me out to lunch one day.
Sure.
He says, we're going to go to Carousel for lunch. I mean, you can't offer me Carousel and I'm not going to show up. If you've never
What
been
is
to Carousel
Carousel?
in Glendale, Carousel in Glendale is like the best Armenian food ever. It's like our Mediterranean. Just the appetizer course is like 15 plates they bring to you. So Carousel's crazy. He says, you want to go to Carousel? I was like, fuck yeah, I want to go to Carousel. Right? So I go to Carousel with Rafi and a couple of his buddies, having lunch. All good. I'm running a small PI practice. Maybe I have 2 employees or something, small practice.
Oh my God.
And literally 2 months later, there's these 2 guys from the FBI show up at my office with a warrant that my name's in there with all these Armenian names. I can't even pronounce them.
Do you think you were like a blacklist guy at this time?
I was just like, I don't even know these guys. And there's chiropractors and body shop guys and all these guys. So then I said, you know what? I'm not going to let you search my place. Get out of here. And they said, we're going to come back and they're going to raid my office and all this shit. So then I hire a lawyer and he talks to the DA, the white collar crime and all this. And they send him a police report. And it says, yeah, we trailed the suspects to Carousel for lunch. For Carousel for lunch. And
my
they
God.
met with suspect number 4, Mr. Fiore. I was like, man, I was just here for free fucking food, And next thing you know, I'm a suspect. It turns out, long story short, imagine this. I know this is something that you can't believe, but these Armenians were money laundering.
What?
Yes, they were.
What?
Yeah, if you can
No.
believe it, these Armenians were money
It's
laundering.
outrageous.
This is outrageous.
Wait,
So
stop. I want to drink this before I hear 1 second about money laundering.
Okay.
Monday laundering.
Money laundering, you drunk. Money laundering.
So pour this because drink that. I want to hear about Monday laundering before we get to Wednesday because we're filming on a Wednesday. It's 2-day gap.
Okay.
And then we'll talk. I want to hear the story. Last one's the Big Five because I will cry on the Big
forgot
Five.
the Big Five. Yeah,
No,
the
we're
Big
going to
Five's
tie it
good.
all into the
Yeah,
end of
Big
Big
Five's
Five.
good. Big Five's a great stuff.
Okay, so go back to money laundering
Well-
after you pour the Michters.
Okay. So
God damn it.
Up?
Anyway.
Michter's single barrel straight rye. I know you're a rye
goddamn.
kind of guy.
Good. This is one of my favorites.
This is single barrel, meaning that all the bottles in this series are from one barrel in the distillery. They have the barrel number on it. I bought this bottle when I was with you at the Michter's distillery in
We
Kentucky.
poured our own bottles.
I have that one in.
Do you remember the date we poured it?
It's written on there. I
remember
still
the
have
date?
that one.
Do you remember the date?
May 5th, May 6th.
Yes! Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. So
We poured it.
Michter's is an interesting bourbon because Michter's is a pre-prohibition American bourbon that never really came back after the Prohibition ended in 1933. But they still were involved in like distribution, this and that. So it was still a live company, but they never started. And then the bourbon boom in the United States happens, maybe 10 years ago, bourbon just takes off. So they start resurrecting all these old brands. Michter's is one of the ones they resurrected after the bourbon boom, because it's an old recipe, old name. And this is one of the first bourbons that they released under their own flag.
Man.
And and the nice thing about the Michter's distillery, where they actually make it, it's on the main strag in Louisville. You don't have to go out to the Bourbon Trail, which is way out in the middle of nowhere, to go. So if you're ever in Louisville and you don't have a lot of time, just go to Michter's and Angel's Envy. They're both on the main street.
Across from the Louisville.
Across from Louisville Slugger.
Yeah.
So this is a single barrel.
Oh God, this is
a numbered whiskey, a single barrel straight rye, which I know Bob likes rye, which I'm a big rye fan too. So let's try this Michter. You still have your bottle that we made? We poured our own bottle?
It's a top shelf. My whiskey room is this poured ourselves.
Oh God, I poured you a big bore there.
God damn it.
Yeah,
But you know what? It's fine.
It's fine? Okay, good.
You know why? Because I love Michter's and Mauro. The reason I'm afraid of this episode because your stories are so outrageous.
Well, I didn't make a single one of them up, man.
And that's the funny thing. Like I've learned, people are like that cannot be true. I've lived 2 of your stories.
Yeah.
And did the most outrageous shit you ever heard in your life.
When we were in Iceland.
We were in Iceland. It was. People will not believe it's true.
We went to Iceland.
It's on. People have a photo.
There's a photo of it. Yeah. We went to Iceland. We went hiking in these lava tubes, which are these giant tubes that the tubes end up and you get sucked into like the molten magma of the earth if you go down the lava tube. So we were in this cave hiking the lava tubes with this guide, and he kept telling us, be careful, be careful, be careful. So then next thing you know, I don't know what happened, we were gonna take a picture. I think the guide or somebody.
So we had those headlamps on.
Yeah, headlamps.
Actually, I want to drink this first. God damn it. It's good.
This Michter's is very smooth. I think Michter's is a good whiskey, a good bourbon.
Michter's is my top 5 of all time.
It's a good one for people who've never drank it before, but it's very smooth and it's a low alcohol content.
No, it's not. This is
90
proof.
Yeah, no, I think it's less. These are
not.
bourbon. These are barrel
proof.
40, 80. This is 84 proof.
Oh shit! Really?
So it's a lower alcohol content. So it's
off my list.
Well, this because it's single barrel, because they go barrel by barrel. So whatever that barrel produced, you know how each barrel is different. So we're in the lava tubes with the headlamps on in Iceland. This is if you've never been to Reykjavik and stuff, it's a really cool place.
Dude, hilarious.
We had a great time there in Iceland, but so we're in the lava tubes. We got the headlamps on, but the guide's going to take our picture.
So he goes, all right, take your lights off on your helmet lights. We all go like this, pitch black. And we're all sitting there, we're like, okay, we're getting ready to film. He's gonna take a picture. It's all black. Like, we're in the lava tubes. It is pitch black. And I hear this rumbling, like a rumbling and a fall. And I just go like this.
In the dark.
In the dark. And I grab Mauro's fucking pants and his belt. I'm holding it and he takes the picture. So if you look at the picture, and I will post it, I'm laughing because how is this possible? The Mauro fell in a lava tube.
And I've got my head going down the tube like this. And luckily Bob has a hold of me by my pants, and he caught me from going down.
like this.
And then my wife's in the picture and she's laughing.
She's laughing. So my wife is going in the picture.
And this
everything,
is not a posed photograph. This is a real fucking picture.
This is one of the things. This is posed. No, all of our wives are laughing, and I'm like this, trying to save your life, and everybody's laughing because they're like, ah. Yeah. So Alex almost made a lot of money on life insurance that day.
Yeah, the shortest marriage ever, and no one would have believed her that my husband died on the honeymoon. But I think it would have been, people would have understand.
Okay. So I'm going to take you to another vacation. We're going to not dial forward because we had some outrageous shit after that honeymoon. This is the bonus feature. We're going to go back.
But what if...
not even talk about what happened after that.
You don't want to talk about...
Don't even start.
You don't want to talk about what happened in England. when we were at that crazy hotel, like.
No.
Okay. We'll leave that for another episode.
That's bad.
Okay.
That's how we get the SSC.
What is that?
Strong sexual content. You know
Strong
this.
sex. Okay, no sexual.
Okay, we're going to go all the way back to before the trip and talk about the big 5.
Okay.
We're going to bring it full circle.
Okay.
I want to hear the story. You say you went alone. Oh my
Well,
God. This is such a good story.
I've been to a bunch of World Cups. That was my thing when I was single and I could travel the world. And, you know, I was a lawyer since I was real young, and I made some money.
First generation lawyer, yeah?
First generation.
Yeah.
I made some money. I was
same.
single, you know, so I could travel. I'd travel over the world, and I would go solo trips.
Oh,
and
God.
I would do pretty outrageous trips. I'd go all over the place. And
One time we went to Cleveland. It was outrageous.
Did we go to Cleveland?
No, fuck. That's the joke.
Oh, no. I actually went to Cleveland one time for a deposition during the NBA playoffs. And it happened to be the game where LeBron scored like 4 points, and it's like the thing like LeBron sucks in the playoffs. And the reason I remember it so much is that I bought a ticket courtside for like $130 in a playoff game.
$130.
Yeah, whereas for a Laker game courtside, playoffs would have been like
10,000.
25,000.
Yeah.
So I don't know that much about soccer, but I can tell you one thing. I love the Galaxy. I'm a Galaxy season ticket holder. And David Beckham was probably the greatest passer of the soccer ball I've ever seen. Like I saw David Beckham play hundreds of games. He scored like 4 goals. David Beckham was not like a dynamic scorer.
Dude, I don't know.
He just was an incredible passer. Anyways, back to the big 5. So I go to South Africa for the World Cup.
Here we go. Stop. Drink that. I want to get you into the last whiskey because I want to lead into this most outrageous shit. So, Mauro, when I first met you, I was like, this guy cannot be fucking real. No, this guy cannot be real. There's no way the shit he's saying is real. I heard, look, cross Mexican border, you were pistol whipped by the federales. No, we're not going to tell that story.
That's the best story. I got to tell a short
No,
version.
no, Mauro,
Listen.
Mauro,
You
do
can-
not tell that story.
I went to Mexico to look for a witness on a wrongful death case. Okay, and
Just don't have
so
the story. This
I'm
is
in a
so
I'm in a
bad.
fucking taxi. So
This is the second
first
part
of
of
all,
it.
okay,
This is the second
I
part
go
of the
across in my own car, which is a mistake to go to TJ in your own car. I didn't even get 100 yards into Mexico when the federales pull me over. Next thing you know, they got a fucking German Shepherd tearing my car to pieces, and the German Shepherd looked like the size of a bear. It was like literally saying, "Senor, this is very bad." Because I had a box of bullets in the trunk. I forgot I had them in there. I was at the shooting range. He says, "Do you know in Mexico, it is 1 year in jail for every bullet?" I said, "Well, fuck, I got 500 of them." And I was like, "What can we do to make this go away?"
Oh my God.
And then he says, "I don't know yet. Let's see what my dog finds." And the dog was tearing my seats to shredding my seats in my brand new Mercedes like this, shredding them with his claws. I was like, "Listen, let's get." So bottom line is the guy took everything from me. I said, "Listen, can you at least can I save $40 for tacos? You can have everything I got on me, but at least he took. I had like $1,500 because I figured I had to bribe somebody in Mexico. I had like $1,500. He left me with $40.
But your wife has a Mexican passport right now.
But this was 10 years before I met her.
Okay.
So then I say, you know
cool
what?
now,
I'm
right?
not
Should be
driving. I'm going to take a taxi to find this witness. I get in the taxi, okay? I drive like 7 blocks, and then I'm just sitting there like this in the back of the taxi. Next thing you know, like a Mexican military vehicle pulls up next to us, like a crazy gigantic Mexican military truck. And just like in the movies, they throw like the canvas thing over it, like they open up the canvas, and next thing there's like 8 machine guns pointing at me in this taxi. I'm just like, what in the fuck happened to me today? You know what I mean? So next thing you know, they grab me by my hair and they drag me through the window of the taxi. They didn't open the door. They pulled me through the window by my fucking hair like I was like Bo and Luke Duke in the fucking Dukes of Hazzard. I'm just like, what the fuck happened? I mean, I was like, what the fuck happened? They pulled me out the fucking taxi by my hair and threw me on the fucking blacktop and in TJ someplace. It's like 100 degrees of blacktop. It's burning my skin. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And they're kicking me and shit. And next thing you know, they just start beating the taxi driver. I mean, beating him. Like it's human rights violation beating him. And it's like, and this is in broad daylight. So then after like 40 minutes laying on the pavement, the guy says, The guy says, "Get up."
Oh my God.
Get up. You can go. I said, I can go? Like, you can go. I was like, what happened? He says, you're a taxi driver. He's a serial killer. We've been tracking him all over Mexico. I was like, oh, fuck. And I happened to get in his fucking taxi when you guys decide to take him down. I got to be involved. What was the reason to fucking rough me up? You know, so at that point, I literally walked back to the border. I walked back. I didn't get no fucking taxis. I threw in the towel on the fucking witness. I walked back to the border with like $15 left. And it was just, yeah, but that's a true story, man. That's true.
This is why.
Okay. So let me go to the big.
Not even.
Pour the last one.
We have
we
to
can
stop
talk,
right now, dude, because it's so outrageous.
Okay. So.
Oh my God.
Can you pour the Peerless and we can talk about the Big Five?
Oh my God. I'm laughing so hard.
Pour this last one here. I like your whiskey there.
Dude, I can't even stop. This is so fucking funny.
This guy. Oh God. These lights are hot.
This out. I'm done with
These lights are hot.
I'm trashed.
Yeah.
I got one more to do.
Okay.
All right. Give me the Peerless. All right. Well,
okay. So you're gonna pour. What are you gonna pour for us here? What are you pouring for us? What are you
Dude,
pouring
I'm gonna
for
hear
us?
the Big Five. God damn it.
Okay. Okay, so for people
Mauro,
who don't know,
I can do like a fucking 6-part series with this.
Okay.
We're gonna tell stories about this fucking crazy shit.
Okay. I mean, I can do
Stop.
it anytime
Just
you want.
Just
But
wait.
if you grew up in LA
God,
like
just
me,
wait. We're
okay,
not
okay,
rolling
okay, go ahead.
yet.
Okay, roll. Let me know when you're ready.
No,
Roll.
just fucking stop.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Was it as advertised?
This is outrageous. This is why we say
Listen,
shit. at
those
the
fucking
end.
the cab drivers, man. The cab driver was he killed like 30 people, man. They thought I was his accomplice. They started kicking me in the face with army boots. It's just like, what in the fuck? I was like, how am I supposed to know the guy's a serial killer, man? You know, I mean, this is just my shit luck, man. Shit luck. They were beating me, but the beating they gave him was just from another world, man. He was as my Arab friend Sam would say, Mauro, if somebody fuck with me, I make them count their teeth. He was counting his teeth on the floor. Okay, so he was counting his teeth, the guy.
Oh my God. I can't even do this with you. This is why I can't. This wasn't even his best story. We're getting into his best story.
I don't know. I think the Big Five story isn't that great, but
the Big Five is the
good.
best story.
It's
the
good.
best story.
It's good. It's true. I wish it wasn't.
Oh yeah, it is. This is such a bad story, Mauro. God damn.
Okay, so you're gonna pour the Peerless so I can tell the Big Five or not?
Just stop, dude. I need a 1 second time out.
Okay.
Because you're such a fucking. Oh God.
Let me stand up, man. These fucking lights are killing me. I feel like a chicken nugget.
This is why I almost think if we
make sure you put that in.
If we ever did like a real like talk show, Mauro would be like the guy that was like
I'd be like shit. Andy Richter.
Yes, Andy Richter. Like a chicken nugget.
I feel like a chicken nugget in here.
I can't even do this.
All right. And I have a low sweat tolerance, you know?
No, you don't.
Yes.
You're an asshole. Wait, what were we talking about?
The Big Five.
Oh God, this is so bad. This is my favorite story.
Okay. So
I will roll over when you get to the parts where you get to
with the elephants?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't. I can't even.
I'm ashamed of myself on
No,
this.
don't.
I'm actually ashamed of myself on this.
So we read the story of Mauro, and it is 100% true of what he's about to say.
Okay.
It's the funniest story
if
ever.
you grew up in LA,
no, just okay.
the Big Five is a place where you go and buy
stop.
cheap tennis
I want you
shoes.
to tell the story.
Okay? But you don't know what Big Five really is. Do you know what the Big Five is? It's rhinoceros,
No,
zebra,
tell the story. Just wait.
Tiger.
Tell the story.
Okay.
Just wait. This is so outrageous. Okay, Mauro.
Okay. So Big Five is
No.
if you go on a safari. I was in South Africa for the World Cup.
Well, I'm doing the last peerless pour
Okay.
because nobody can match our peers in this story. I will be on the floor for the rest of the story because I know the truth of it. God damn it. This is so outrageous.
This is Peerless
And I
Ride?
fact checked it to make sure it was true.
It's true. It's true.
And I cannot make it through the store without laughing.
This is a Peerless Rye, which bourbon of the year, I think 2019.
The bottle's terrible. The taste is good.
Tremendous. It's a weird bottle. It looks like a honey dispenser. Weird bottle, but incredible bourbon.
Oh goddamn.
Big Five refers.
No, don't even do it.
Big Five refers to when you go on a safari in Africa, and on the same day you see 5 animals: rhino, zebra, tiger, rhinoceros. I already said rhino, right? Some other fucking animals. 4. I don't know. Whatever. There's 5 animals.
But Mauro, you went.
So you want?
You
so
went
I go
by
to South
yourself.
Africa. The reason I went by myself is I was supposed to go with my friend Jess Noriega, a chiropractor here in town. Noriega Chiropractor. Everyone knows him.
Yeah.
Me and Jess were supposed to go together. Jess paid me like $10,000 or $12,000 for his plane ticket, his game tickets, everything. So Jess was all in on this trip. The son of a bitch didn't show up at the airport. He kept calling me, he didn't answer his phone. I got on the plane, I left. I flew to Frankfurt first. Spent a couple days in Frankfurt, and then I flew to Johannesburg. When I get to Frankfurt, I check my phone. Jess calls me. My wife stole my passport, so I wouldn't go with you. I was like, "Are you kidding me, dude? I'm stuck in South Africa by myself for 2 weeks. All right, fine, I'll make it." You know? I mean, I prefer being alone. I'm a lone wolf anyway. So I mean, dude, they have South Africa. First of all, the way people talk about South Africa is bullshit. I was afraid to get off the goddamn plane. I thought they were going to rob me and rape me in the street. If you go to Johannesburg, there's certain parts of South Africa's like any place. It's very nice, some places, and there's shitty slums too. But there's shitty slums in LA, you know? But the nice parts of South Africa, especially where I was staying, it's called Rendon. It's like Beverly Hills, man. There's these like blood diamond guys driving around in fucking Rolls Royce Phantoms. You know what I mean? On every corner there's a Rolls Royce. Guys with big money. Fucking beautiful. South Africa's beautiful. I had the fucking time of my life. Nicest people in the world. The locals are cool. You know, I went to Soweto, like the supposed fucking South African slums.
Sure.
The fucking best time of my life. So anyways, I was there by myself. I had like a 4-day break between the games, and I said, I'm gonna go on a safari.
Oh, here we go.
And of course,
is where you get good. Oh God.
Of course, I don't do any fucking planning or nothing. I said, I'm gonna do a fucking safari, right? So
here we go.
I decide I'm gonna stay a couple of days in Sun City, which if you're like me, you're old school, older, you understand Sun City was a very, what do you call it? It was a place where back in the 80s, if you went to Sun City as a music artist, it was very bad because that's when apartheid was going on. Sun City is like the Las Vegas of Africa. There's tons of casinos. It's like Las Vegas in the middle of nowhere in Africa, okay? So if you played Sun City, it was a bad thing. So like U2 has a song even about it, don't play Sun City and all this other shit. So if you played Sun City, you were an asshole because of apartheid. So I go to Sun City, which is right outside the national parks where they filmed like fucking Lauren Green's fucking Outdoor Wilderness or whatever, you know, like the shows on TV with the fucking impalas and the wildebeest and shit. So I go to Sun City. I figure, okay, from Sun City, I can figure out a safari. I'm staying at a casino in Sun City. I'm gambling like a fiend. There's a casino every 10 feet in South Africa, by the way. They love to fucking gamble, which I like to gamble too. So it was a lot of fun in that respect. Talk to the concierge at my hotel. You want to go on a safari? Yeah. I want to go on a safari. Okay, you want to go on a private tour? Yeah, I don't want to deal with some fucking assholes from fucking Ecuador on a fucking safari. I want to be by myself, you know? Okay, so private safari in the national park is like one day, 5 a.m. because the animals
how did you find the perfect safari?
Well, I'm
how
sorry.
Did you, like,
the hotel was telling me. We pick you up at 4:30 in the morning. You get to this national park at 5 a.m. because the animals are feeding. You see the whole enchilada. They take you out, whatever, through the park. And you see the whole day. You have lunch. You come back like 2 in the afternoon. It's like $7,000. I'm like, $7,000?
Where are you right now?
I'm in Sun City, South Africa, which is in the border. It's on the border.
Are you getting breakfast?
I'm at the casino, gambling, talking to the concierge. It's on the border of a country called Swaziland, which is like a kingdom with a king. And I went to Swaziland because they had a casino. They had a poker tournament that night. So I actually got a guy to drive me to Swaziland, which was awesome. It's kind of like Bill, what's it? Like Coming to America, that kind of shit.
Sure.
Sure. I went to Swaziland to play in a no-limit poker tournament in their casino. I busted out early, Ace King versus Pocket Tens. Anyway, so I busted out. I come back to Sun City. They tell me they need $7,000 for a guide to take me to the park for a day.
$7,000.
And I'm like, these guys are full of shit. Did I just fall off a turnip truck? I go up in my room. I go on Craigslist. Okay.
Wait, they have Craigslist in...
They have Craigslist everywhere,
oh,
man.
God.
I'm on Craigslist. I start searching for safaris, whatever. Next thing you know, I find this guy, independent safari tour.
Oh, Lord.
I'll pick you up at your hotel.
Why the fuck would you do
Take
this?
you see the Big Five. We have lunch.
I just want to, right now, where you're like, I'm going to Craigslist. Where are you? Are you like
I'm in my
gambling?
hotel, in my room. I was at the Sun City Casino.
Oh, God.
So I call the guy up on the phone. Yeah, don't worry. He sounds like Crocodile Dundee. Don't worry, mate.
No, he doesn't.
We're gonna see all five. I guarantee
Yeah, no.
you're gonna see the Big Five.
So Big Five is again what?
Rhinoceros, giraffe, tiger, lion, I don't know, some other fucking thing. I don't remember. But I guarantee we see the Big Five, but we have to get there early, he says, right? I said, okay. I said, how much for the safari? He says, you just by yourself, mate? I'm by myself. $600. I'm like, come pick me up, man. Right? It went from $7,000 to $600, right? So I was like, for $600, come get me at the casino. He said, I'll pick you up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Picks me up at 4 o'clock in the morning in some piece of shit. It was blowing smoke Volkswagen bus, right? So he picks me up in a Volkswagen bus that looks like it's like on its last leg, and it's one of those old school ones with a like 4 foot long gear shifter. You know, it's like a 3-speed with a 4 foot long gear. He picks me up. He says, we have to make it to the park when they open the gates at 5 because we want to see the animals. So we roll in. He says, so I'm with the guy, and he's cool. He's got a cooler with snacks, chips, and shit in there. I mean, I figure, okay, I did good. $600, this guy, you know, as opposed to $7,000. I feel like I'm winning, right? So we're cruising through the park. He says, hey, this is a great place for pictures as soon as we go in the park. Okay, cool. I'll take some pictures. So we get out of the van. I walk literally like 40 feet away from this guy's van, and the sun is just coming up, and I look over my shoulder. He says, this is a great place for a picture. Look over my shoulder, and there's like, you can't even describe it. There's a fucking lion eating like a rhinoceros, like 40 feet away from me. And the lion just looks up like this with a face full of blood like this and goes back down. I was like, hey, this is fenced off? He goes like, oh, no, this is not fenced off. I said, are you fucking kidding me? I did a 100-meter sprint back to the fucking van. I was like, dude, you can't fucking, what are you talking about, man? He's like, this is a national park. I said, did you know there was a lion eating a rhino here? He says, I didn't see him, but don't worry. When they're eating, they're not gonna bother us when they're eating. I was like, okay. At that point, I was just taking me back to the fucking hotel.
Yeah, you should have been gone.
But I figure, okay, let me get back in the van with the guy. So hold on, let me drink my Peerless. So I get back in the van with the guy.
can't even do this.
We start driving around. We see a rhino. I saw the lion eating 15 feet away from where I was fucking standing. And this wasn't National Geographic, man. I was in the fucking bush myself. Okay? Who knows, there was another lion there hanging out too. You know, and they would see me, they figure they got another good fucking meal. Right? So I get back in the van with the guy. We start driving around.
Oh my God.
He says, let's have lunch. It's like 10:30 in the morning. Let's have lunch, he says. I said, okay, well, I said, where the fuck we gonna eat lunch out here, man? This is like this is like on TV, man. You look, and as far as you can see, there's just like water holes with like antelopes eating and shit, like just like on television, just like all the documentaries you've ever seen. This is where I was in this guy's VW bus. He takes me to some tent. There's like 2 tents in the middle of the desert, and there's like some African guy out there like barbecuing like sausages. But they call it I think they call it biltong out there, biltong. He's making biltong. I said, what is this? He said, oh, this is a bush barbecue. You're gonna love it. Bush barbecue. I said, oh, fuck yeah, maybe I will love it, you know? Who doesn't love a good barbecue? So I get out of the van, and me and him are and this is the World Cup, right? So there's people from all over the world in South Africa. So the parking lot to the bush barbecue was kind of packed. So I get out of the van with the guy like this, and I'm walking like this. Like I'm walking next to him, and next thing I just feel like this, like somebody, like if you're at a club, somebody like brushes up and like kind of pushes you. I was like, what the fuck is pushing me? So I turn around like this, and I look, and it was one of those pigs that has horns. I think it's called, they call them I don't know what the fuck they're called, but a pig with horns, okay? And a warthog, exactly, a warthog with giant horns. So the pig, for whatever reason, pushed me out of the way, and I turned around like this, and next thing you know, I see this guy wearing a soccer jersey, and the warthog just goes, and just gives him the fucking horns, like the horns, not half a horn. He gives him both of the fucking horns right in his stomach. And I'm just like, oh my God, the guy. And then my guide was like, oh my God, I think he's dying. I was like, what? What do you mean he's dying? And the guy was screaming. He's like, wah, wah. I was like, holy shit, where did the warthog come? He was saying, where did the warthog come from? I said, you're asking me, man. You're my fucking guide. What do you mean you're asking me where the warthog came from?
Oh my God.
So the warthog, I don't know what happened, but we bailed. We didn't have lunch. I saw a helicopter coming in. About 10 minutes later, there was a helicopter. I mean, they must have, hopefully the guy survived. I don't know what happened to him. But he was wearing a soccer jersey from some random country like Honduras or some shit. But from what I saw, the guy didn't make it. You know what I mean? From what the warthog really let him have, gave him the business.
Oh my God, he gave the business.
So at that point, I told him, I said, let's get the fuck out of here, man. Let's go back to the hotel. I've had enough. I've seen a few animals. I mean, I saw, some cool stuff. So he says, okay, we're going to go. So then we're going back we're going back towards the hotel, but we're in the middle of nowhere in the desert, right? So he says, I think we can see some elephants right here. We haven't seen elephants yet.
No.
He says, I think we can see some elephants. And then we go back to the hotel. I said, do you think it's safe for us to see the elephants? He says, yeah, we can see the elephants. I said, okay, well, fuck. If we're going back to the hotel, let's see the elephants, right? I'm here anyways. When am I going to be back in the fucking Serengeti? Let's see the fucking elephants. So he drives the van to like a dead-end road, and he parks, and he says, okay, let's get out. I said, are you sure there's no like lions eating around here? He's like, no, it's the middle of the day, they're sleeping. So of course I believe everything this idiot says. So I get out of the van, we look over this hill, and there's a bunch of elephants grazing, eating, chilling. Coolest shit you ever seen, right? Elephants in the wild, like not like at the zoo, like in the wild, fucking around, jumping around. I was the coolest shit ever. So next thing you know, I just see like the one elephant like kind of spots us, and I think he was like he or she, whoever was like the boss elephant. The elephant just starts coming up the hill towards us, and we're probably 150 yards, 200 yards away, far, One elephant starts walking up the hill. And he's like, it's best we get out of here. I said, I'm with you, man. Let's get the fuck out of here. They're 200 yards away. We're good, right? We jump in the van, and he can't start the fucking van. It's like, this piece of shit van finally gave up. I was like, start the van, dude. Start the fucking van. The elephants are coming up the hill. So next thing you know, man, like one elephant comes over the hill, 2 elephants come over the hill, 3, and next thing you know, like one of big fucking elephants starts like smashing the side of our van with its tusk. Smash, smash. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna destroy the van with their tusk and eat us or stomp us to death. So the elephants are surrounding the van. They're smashing the fucking windows out. The one back windows breaks, and this guy's panicking. Oh my God. I was like, you're my guide. You're my Crocodile Dundee. You're fucking crying. You fuck. Start the fucking van. So I'm like laying on the bottom on the floorboards. So next thing you know, the guy gets it to start, and I just hear him go boom like this. He just puts it in reverse and slams on the gas, and we go down like 70 miles an hour backwards. And next thing I just see like a baby elephant just fly up in the air. We hit a baby elephant. I don't know if we killed the goddamn thing or what, but it flew so far up in the air. I was like, oh my God. He kept saying, oh my God, I think I killed it. I was like, did you kill a fucking elephant? I was like, I don't know what dude, I was like, when they surrounded our van and they were smashing their trunks on the windows, I was like, I'm gonna be that asshole on CNN. American tourist dies at World Cup, stomped by elephants, So
This is why
this was like the worst $600 I ever spent. I think I should have taken.
So if you ever go to Craigslist, and Craigslist says, a 5,000, Big 5 tour. Craigslist,
600.
600. What do you choose?
Take the go with the hotel guide. I'm sure you wouldn't have like almost died 3 times in 9 hours.
Oh my God.
So
Mauro.
we made it back to the hotel. I told the guy, "Here's your money." He's like, "What about my tip?" I said, "Tip? Get the fuck out of here before I don't refuse even to pay." The guy wanted a tip after he almost killed us 3 times. So sometimes it's penny wise and dollar foolish.
Pound foolish.
Whatever it is, don't
Lord.
be cheap on a safari in Africa.
Why would you ever? So, okay, you have these wild animals. We'll pay a tenth of the price. I'll pay you 1/10 of the price to get out of the wild.
The guy said on
No,
Craigslist
why would you trust
he had
this?
done hundreds of tours and he was a spotless safety record. Okay?
So this is okay. Mauro, you pay this exorbitant amount to be like the most successful trial lawyer in LA. And like
I don't know
you have
about
all these
that,
employees.
but
No, you
successful.
do. Yes, but you pay all this shit. You go to fucking South Africa and I'm not gonna pay that.
I refuse.
Why?
I just said,
You
hey
almost
man, I
died.
just want to see the goddamn elephants. We'll take a cruise around. How could the guy charge so much money? This is crazy. So Crocodile Dundee here, yeah, he was upset that I didn't give him a tip.
Oh my God.
Bob, as we were talking, we have a mutual friend, very hard to get a hold of on the phone, hard to get a hold of by any means. Kind of lives in his own world. Extremely successful trial lawyer, extremely successful. I mean, I would literally carry this guy's bags through the airport. That's how successful this guy is. But he's just beats to his own drum, does his own thing, hard to deal with. The other day, Bob was complaining to me about this guy. And I told him, I said, Bob, you know how it is. Perception is everything. Perception is reality, right? Like I always tell people, you can take the same guy with the same behavior and the same wackiness and the same craziness and the same, idiosyncrasies. If the guy doesn't have any money, the guy's a fucking nutcase. If the guy's got money, he's eccentric. He's eccentric. So this guy, if he didn't have any money, would be a fucking nut. But since he's got money, he's just an eccentric millionaire. That is life boiled down to its finest form. What people perceive you as is reality.
Perception is everything, yeah?
Yeah.
So
as my friend Dean Hakek, I have a good friend of mine, old school lawyer.
Hakek?
Dean
It's
Hakek.
not real.
His name is Hakkak, Hakak. Dean Hakak. He's
You just made
Iraqi.
that up.
Iraqi. And Dean Hakak always told me since I was a young puppy lawyer, he'd always say, Mauro, nothing is ever what it seems. Remember that. And you know what? The older I get, Dean Hakak is fucking spot on. Nothing's ever what it seems, man.
And with that, Mauro, I gotta tell you, your selection, A+. Except for the, I didn't love this.
You didn't love the old tub.
No.
That's unfiltered, old school, 1880s.
But I have to ask
bourbon.
you, for a bourbon of proof, out of these, what would be your bourbon of proof out of all of this? Pick one, and only one. You must choose wisely.
The Peerless Rye.
Really?
Yeah, I love the Peerless Rye. Love the Peerless Rye.
I would go out of all this. What would I choose? You pick. And I'll
Probably
tell
the
you,
Whistle Pig.
No.
The Michter's single barrel.
Very good.
It's a very beautiful bourbon.
So this is one of my favorites. So we're gonna do a weeded.
You're gonna give away the weeded bottles too?
Yes.
Not the rye.
No, we're
The rye's
gonna
not that great.
Weeded.
The weeded is a beautiful bourbon.
At La de Gras this year. So we're gonna do a whole weeded one.
That's beautiful. That weeded.
So this one is it's not. Well, we did a barrel.
Have you ever? I mean, I haven't watched.
This is the 45. We're gonna do a 50% barrel proof. Give it away.
Dude, have you done? I mean, I haven't watched that many episodes of this show. To people, have you explained the difference between bourbon and whiskey?
Nobody knows the difference because there's not real difference. It's a little bit. It's
bourbon.
like this.
All whiskeys are bourbon, but not all bourbons are whiskey. To be called bourbon under the laws of the United States, it has to be aged for 4 years in brand new oak barrels, and it has to be 51% corn to be called bourbon. If it's less than 51% corn, it's whiskey. And that's the difference.
That's why you can make whiskey out of anything.
Yeah. Whiskey can be whatever, but bourbon has to be 51% corn, has to be aged in new oak barrels. Remember when we were at Old Forester Distillery and they were making oak barrels?
No.
You don't remember? You were fucking wasted, that's why. Remember they were making the oak barrels at Old Forester?
Sure.
It was incredible. So, bourbon goes back hundreds of years in this country. During Prohibition, bourbon was one of the few alcohols that were allowed to be made because it had medicinal uses, bourbon. So you could go to the doctor and get a prescription during Prohibition, get a prescription for bourbon because it helped with all these different ailments, allegedly, according to doctors. I think it definitely has medicinal value for sure. But during Prohibition, you could get a prescription for bourbon.
So you were a shaman of law. You've been around, you were 22 years old, 23 years old practicing law.
Yes.
And opened many offices and a fan of whiskey. As you, a shaman of law, I want you to tell all of our viewers and listeners, don't be a fucking bullshitter.
Okay, tell you the truth. You know, I'm a
truth sayer. What is your one advice?
My best advice I could give lawyers. You want lawyers' advice?
Lawyers one.
I mean, it's probably not as profound as like you would think I would say, I'll give you something great. But the one thing I can tell people is that when you're a lawyer, you have a lot of family, you have a lot of friends, you got extended family, and most of the time you're like the only lawyer in the whole group of people, right? So I always tell lawyers, the best advice I ever got was from the first lawyer I ever worked for. The guy's name was Armand Pisano, who just
is he disbarred?
Randomly got disbarred and was found dead on the beach in Mazatlan of an overdose. But that's another
found
podcast.
Dead where?
In Mazatlan of an overdose in Mexico.
Okay, sure.
The guy used the trust account like as his personal account. Hey, listen, I didn't work for the greatest law firm, but Armand Pisano told me when I worked there, he said, Mauro, don't take shitty cases from people you know.
Oh, I like
this. Because if you take a shitty case from your second cousin, or from your buddy from your fantasy football league, or from a guy that your kid goes to the same fucking Gymboree class, right? And it's a shit case. A case with no upside. A case that can go nowhere. And inevitably the case goes in the toilet and you settle it for $12,000. That guy's gonna see you at every Gymboree class for the next 10 fucking years and is gonna tell everyone there's that motherfucker that got me $3,000. That piece of shit box on it. I got $3,000 for my case. You know what the best way to do is? I can't help you with that case. There's no upside.
Say no.
There is no upside to taking shitty cases from people you know. There's only downside. At every birthday party, cocktail party, parents group, they're gonna say, there's that fucker who got me $800 for my broken taillight rear ender. There's no upside to it. Don't take those cases. If it's somebody you know, Pisano told me, somebody you know, make sure the case is fucking clean. Yep. Brian Panish style. Perfect.
Admitted liability, 8 figures.
And a big policy. Brian Panish style. Perfect.
Mauro, good friend, we could sit and do this for fucking.
Let me have another splash of mixers.
God, you're gonna kill all of us.
A little splash? No, you got some.
No. God damn it, anyway.
We could do this all day, every day, and we do at times.
We do. This is the normal Tuesday for us.
Normal Tuesday. I love you like a brother.
Love you, brother.
Always. Thank you for having me on, and I'm happy to. Bottom line is, comes to practice the law. Everyone knows my cell phone number. Everyone knows my email. Call me.
Here's the thing. If you want to hear the real, just fucking call Mauro.
Anyone needs any help on a case, anyone wants to ask me strategy, I've been around a long time, tried a lot of cases, and I've seen a lot. Not saying I'm the greatest, I'm the best, the most successful, but I've seen everything. If you ever need any help, just call me up. I'm happy to help you.
Thank you, brother.
Cheers. Shenta Ani.
Shut on.